morning. I'm going to do my air brakes test. I'm going to start with my service brake check. With my seatbelt on, engine on, the brakes off. I need to have minimum 100 psi to do this test. I'm going to put the truck in second gear, and I'm going to try to move forward, and then I'm going to use the brake. The truck stopped with the service brake. That means my service brake is working properly. Now I'm going to do my next test, which is the tractor brake test. With my tractor brake on, trailer brake off, I still have my seat belt. I still have minimum 100, so I can still move it. I'm going to put it again in second gear, and I'm going to try to move forward slowly. The truck doesn't move. That means my tractor brakes are working properly. Now I'm going to do my next test, which is the trailer brake test. With my trailer brake on, tractor brake off. Again, I have to have minimum 100 psi. I still have my seatbelt because I'm moving it. I'm going to put in a low gear, second gear, and try to move forward slowly. The truck doesn't move. That means my trailer brakes are working properly. Now I'm going to do my next test, my governor and compressor check. For this one, I'm going to remove my seatbelt. I'm going to get out of the truck and go check my wheels. With my wheels chalked, my parking brakes off, I'm going to build a system to the maximum 130, but in this truck, it's 115. Once the system is charged, I'm going to push the service brake one time. I see the pressure drops to approximately 107. I'm going to give some gas and accelerate for about 3 seconds. The gauge does not move, so I'm going to push the service brake again. Now I went to about 100 psi. I'm going to accelerate. And I see the gauge starts to move. That means 100 is my cut in, but it can be at a minimum of 85. Now I'm going to keep accelerating. I'm going to keep giving gas to see where it stops so we can find the cutout. The gauge stopped at 115. That means 115 is my cutout. So this means my governor and compressor are working properly. Now I'm going to do my next test, my applied brakes test. With my wheels chalked, parking brakes off, engine off, I'm going to put 40 pounds of pressure on the service brake and hold it for 1 minute. I see that in my gauge, I have 107 psi. In 1 minute, I should not lose more than 4 psi. Also in the minute, I'm going to listen inside and outside for any air leaks. So I'm going to hold steady, making sure the foot doesn't move, keeping the pressure constant, looking at the gauge, and I'm listening. One minute passed. I still have 107 psi. This means I have no air leaks in my system. Now I can release my service brake. Now I'm going to do my next test, which is the lower warning check. With my wheels chalked, parking brakes off, engine off, I'm going to open the switch. I'm going to bring down the pressure, and between 55 and 75, a red light and a buzzer should come on. I'm going to bring down the pressure. At 60 psi, my light and my buzzer are on, which means my lower warning is working properly. Now I'm going to do my final test, which is the spring brake test. With my wheels chalked, parking brakes off, engine off, I'm going to press on the service brake. I'm going to pump it down, and between 20 and 45, both of my parking brakes should pop out. At 35, I got the first one, and at 20, I got my next one, which means my spring brakes are working properly. With this, I conclude my air brakes test.